What's up, everybody? It's your boy MYP Music with another video today. Today we're gonna go through the song by Lorde, Perfect Places. Before we begin, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more content being released quite regularly, I would say. Okay, let's get on with it. The first thing to do, like any other GarageBand project, is to choose the key signature. In this case, the key signature is E major. The tempo for this track is 104, and once you got that ready, you're good to go. So I've already laid down the track, obviously worked on it quite a bit. So I'm gonna walk you through how I started with the track. The first thing I started working on was the main part of the chorus, because the chorus and the verse is quite different. But these are the chords I use for the chorus. Actually, the first thing I started working on was the piano. So let's just hear the piano by itself first. Wow, fantastic chords. I really like these chords. Let's go into the edit mode and talk about this a little bit. As usual, just copy these chords. It's just basically some E major chords. And we go to the next one, which is slightly different. It's the same thing as the other one, but you can see that this is basically being omitted so that these notes are a bit more longer. Let's just go into the edit mode again, and you can see that the last chords are much longer. So once I had the chords ready and basically good to go, I just as you guys know, you just copy and paste it to the next thing. Just a quick note for the piano. I added the sustain, which can be activated or disactivated. Just slide it to the right and you activate the sustain, so it keeps the notes longer. The second thing I added was an EQ, and if you go here to plugin, EQ, and just copy what I did. Basically, I cut off the top ends and the low end just to focus the key mainly. Again, you're not forced to do this, but it's just to add a little bit more quality to the sound. The second thing I started working on was this satellite keys, which can be found in synth pads, satellite keys, and just copy these settings on the right side of the instrument, and I added a filter, a high pass filter. And I don't know if you guys are watching one of my previous videos. If you want to add additional plugins, I only use the stock plugins. You just go to none, well, to the plus, tap on the plus here, and you go to audio unit extension, and you look for high pass filter, and you just tap it, and you get presented with this. You press done, or you tap done, and just copy these settings. After you've done that, you can close this up. After you've done that, the chords in this case are the same, but they're slightly shorter. I went for this option because these chords tend to be much longer, and I didn't like it that much, so I just shortened it a little bit. And again, it's the same chords of the piano. So let's just hear these two together. It gives you like an ambient type of sensation, type of feeling. So we got that laid out in the pads going on. After that, I started working on the bass, or the bass line in this case. Again, it's just copy and paste from basically the main chords that is going through the whole chorus, and I've shown this before, but the easiest way to is just copy, duplicate into into a new thing, and you can just go and create a new instrument. The instrument I used here is the 808 bass, which can be found in bass 808. Something as simple as that, and just keep it as it is. I didn't do anything to it, and again, just copy and paste the notes, and it's pretty good. Let's just hear it all together, and I'm going to isolate the sound at some point. Wow, fantastic. I like how good that sounded. Then after that, we had the main keys going on, the main stuff going on. Then just work on the kicks and the snare. As usual, I like to use 2 kicks to add more depth into my track. You don't have to do it, but I always tend to do that. For the first kick, I used the tie trap, which is, as usual, one of my most used kick is this one. And the second kick I used was the, let's have a look, vintage beats, which is also one of my most used kits in this pack that comes with GarageBand. And let's go into the edit mode so you guys can see exactly the kick pattern. Okay, so you can just copy this into your project, or copy from this video. Let's zoom it a little bit. That's not helpful. And let's just hear it. Just a very simple ta 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 ta, and afterwards just the snare. The snare is every beat is a pam pam, and let's just isolate this. And the snare I used in this case is the hard bounce, which can be found in the electronics, and you go to the H, which is hard bounce. I didn't add any settings to it. And the clap I used, the snare I used was this, or you can use the clap. Either one is okay. But if we go into the edit mode, I think I used the clap instead of the snare. Let's have a look. For some reason I used the rim. Don't know why I did that. Don't know why I did that. Anyway, the second one I used in this case was the clap in the Roland TR606. Again, in the electronics, Roland TR606. And let's hear it together. And that's it really for this one. Nothing special about it. And let's hear it all together at this point. Where we at? Let's select this. So that sounds already quite good. So we are already at a good point at this point. The next thing I added is in the chorus, there's a slide section where there's an extra clap, but it has a lot of reverb to it. So that's exactly what we're doing here. And the kit I used is the Arcade Fancy. It's this clap. It's like a very echoey ambient type of clap, and just add an extra reverb to emphasize that ambience of it. Okay, so we can just play it quickly. Love it, man. Then at this point, the next thing that is obvious to add, which is the another driving instrument in the chorus, is I feel is the organ. I may be wrong, but I think the organ was what is giving that extra power to the chorus. So let's just double tap it. Let's get rid of this. The organ I use is the heavy metal organ, which can be found in the keyboard. The settings is just basically this. Make sure you turn the distortion to just about here. And I think everything else you can play around with it or just keep it as it is. And you go into the EQ settings, just like the piano, you remove the high ends, but we don't touch the low ends. And that's about it for this one. Again, it's a copy and paste of the original chords, nothing else added to it. So let's just hear all this together again. You can see how much that brings life to the chorus, to the track itself, just by adding that extra organ. Finally, like all of my project or most of my project, I like to add some loops. And obviously where best to go is the Apple loops, which can be found in here. In this case, the Apple loops I used was the shaker. If you're listening to the song quite correctly, there's a slight shaker in the chorus, but it's the second portion of the chorus. So I just decided to have that in my project and make it a little bit mine. And I chose two shakers because one was not enough to give me what I was looking for. So the first one is the Solaris Shaker 01 and the second one is the Solaris Shaker 02. And if you just type in shaker here, and if you scroll down to the very bottom, you can see both of them here, and just literally drag them into your project, and that's about it. And because you don't want it to overwhelm your track, there's different ways you can go about it. You can reduce the volume, or you can EQ it, and remove some of the high ends or low ends and just isolate the sound properly. Same thing with this one. I EQ'd it quite a bit just to remove the attention away from the shaker, because it seems to be taking a lot of attention from the track. I think I'm talking too much rubbish. Anyway, let's just get on with it, and let's just hear everything how we're doing at this point. And that's it. That's the main source of the track. I've got this melody here, but I'm gonna shift it right to the very bottom because I want to focus on this extra 2 beats, which can be heard at the end of when she says basically the main part of the chorus, perfect place. So let's just isolate this once again, and we go here, and I'm sure you guys will recognize if you know this song. Is that like ba da da da? Let's play this. Obviously, I don't have I don't know what instrument they were using, but this is the closest to it. You can use any instrument you want, but I chose to use the French horn, which can be found in Orders, French horn, and just copy the settings, which is basically a guess because I couldn't really find an instrument that sounded like the actual one in the track. But if you guys know any instrument that could replicate what was used in the track, just let me know in the comment section below. And these are the notes, so just copy and paste them. And the same thing with the next one, which is basically the same thing. Let's get this out of the way. The instrument I use is the lead, the high energy lead, which can be found in, if you go back to Acumen Synth lead, and you scroll down to high energy lead, and you'll find it just there. And just copy these settings I've got over here, and over here, and over here also. because I changed it quite a bit to give it the interest I wanted. So I kind of like mess around with the sustain and the release a little bit more. And I also EQ'd it. If you go to EQ, visual EQ, and I removed the lower ends. And I think that's about it with this section. And for the French horn, I didn't do anything. I didn't add any special effect or anything like that. So the final bit is the melody. The melody is basically trying to replicate what she's saying, just to add a little bit more depth into this track. You don't have to use it. If you don't want to use it, but I just thought, yeah, let's just put it in, just for argument's sake. So let's get into edit mode, and if you guys want to copy the melody, this is basically it. It's very simple. Let's just play it actually. And that's it for this track. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's just actually hear it all together once more. Wow, I really enjoyed this track. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And also, don't forget to download the project if you want to use it on your Mac OS or your GarageBand iOS. So you just find the link in the comment section in the description below. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.